I definitely felt safe in school before. I mean, I was really young. I don't really remember like every single day of like first and second grade. I remember the day of the shooting, but I do remember after, especially going back to school is hard. And I think I was really like anxious in school, especially that it would like happen again through like I would say like read age, like fifth and sixth grade, and then it kind of like I felt like more safe again after that, and then like high school was a bit rough for me, especially like with anxiety, but I do think that like going through something like that definitely makes it like harder to go to school every single day and like feel safe.
Definitely impacted like safety wise that like anyone could step on campus no matter what, no matter if it's a public or private school. And just that like we live in a country where the number one killer of children and young adults are guns, and it's not automobile accidents, and it's not cancer. And it's kind of like heartbreaking to see that, and just to know that people will choose other things over kids' lives. And just to see that happening only pretty much in the United States is just really sad.
Gun violence is the number one killer of children in America, which is definitely different than any other country. And I think even at a young age now, going through active shooter drills at school, I think students are just prepared that this is like inevitably going to happen to them. And I think that just sends fear across to everyone compared to international students where there's one shooting and then there's immediately action taken to prevent it in the future. And I think there's a lot of excuses here, especially within politics, that prevent us from getting anywhere in Congress. And I think students here, whether they've experienced gun violence firsthand or someone they know have experienced gun violence firsthand, like I think we've all been victimized by it because we've all been exposed to it in some way. And I think that sends a lot more fear into our communities than in other areas. I know that in other countries, um, like they just don't deal with this, even though like there's a lot of people saying that it's because of mental health, but we know that like there's mental health issues in every country, but it's just like the way we deal with firearm regulation. So I think if we can make progress there, that we would feel safer in schools like people in other countries.
I think students who are affected differently living here than as like international students is that one thing is safety as well. There it's probably not as heightened, but over here it's definitely heightened. And the levels of like anxiety, depression, PTSD are also increased over here than where international students are located. And I think that's important to know because I know in one of the countries overseas, there was a shooting that happened and they immediately banned guns from being used. And I wish we could follow those footsteps, but we live in a country where everyone has different ideas and beliefs. And so it's kind of hard to incorporate everyone's at the same time, but it's still like um, humans and people deserve to live rather than being killed over just because of an assault weapon and going or even going to the store and or school. And I think school is important for kids to learn and get their education, but when we live in a country where we have kids being murdered um, and who are innocent, it's kind of hard to grasp that like we're accepting it kind of and just acknowledge and not acknowledging that we do have a problem, and we do, and it needs to be sorted out, and it needs to be fixed, definitely.